The group stage continues. The Sisters Call Cup, everybody. The Polish META Madness. When we find ourselves in our best of 3 series here in the round robin on Infernal Shrines. Team Goom is on the left with the captain on Muradin. We got Matea on Malfurion. Danazovsky is playing Orphea. Lopaka on Phoenix. And Shikish is playing Leoric. So some of those names should already ring a bell if you are in any way, shape or form familiar with the European Heroes of the Storm scene. On the right, the opponent in red with Balor on Sylvanas. We got Gachi, the captain on ETC. Gamerboy is playing Jaina. Hammerine on Thrall. And Paulinka on Oriel. As already talked about before, this tournament basically uses my full META Madness rule set. It is a tournament hosted by the Polish community for the Polish community. There is the occasional non-Polish player in the event, but 95% of the players are from Poland. 25 heroes are pre-banned, so they can't be played during the entire tournament, and you can find a list in the description if you're watching this on YouTube right now. And if you do, as usual, hit that like button. It helps to promote the videos a little bit and is, yeah, always appreciated. Also sub to the channel. But those 25 heroes will be found in the video description, as already mentioned. In addition to that, the second META Madness rule also kicks in, where every single hero that you play, it can only be played once within a series. So as we're going through a best of 3 to the third map, or maybe even a best of 5, there's going to be more and more heroes that are unavailable, which forces the teams to think outside of the box. Now, Team Gumis against Team Gachi, again, it's all about the round robin here. So the reason why we don't have any drafts is because I was not able to cast the round robin phase live. I had other engagements. And now I'm casting those from replays. Lots of the playoffs I was actually able to cover directly, so those will be then uploaded later too. But I also wanted to give you a bit of an idea of how the round robin went between the 6 teams that signed up for the tournament, and that's why we're going through those. Unfortunately, there is no draft information in replays, so this is why there are no drafts right here. But we had some pretty cool games already, and again, there are some absolute top players in this tournament. With this case, ETC going down, so we have already our first blood locked in by Team Gumis. Phoenix here with the mobile offense on level 1. Not really a character that you get to see a whole lot. I mean, we're not seeing a murderous amount of Phoenix play in Heroes of the Storm at the moment, at least not when we're talking about the competitive performance. Leo, as the Ghost out, is already rushing away here. We have topside Thrall. He had a little bit more freedom at the top and was able to take one of the towers down a notch or two. And, yep, down at the bottom of the map, the party continues. It's actually kind of funny to me. I mean, obviously I uploaded a couple of replays on, or videos on the topic too. But the graphics are kind of interesting to me because they're just way more brighter. I played March of Giants and I closed Alpha quite a lot. And it's a really interesting game that has quite a lot of potential in my eyes for competitive play. But I was very worried initially that I wouldn't like the graphics style because it is just a bit more muted. And the entire, like, style that it has with, like, more of a war-torn country style. Pretty much Attack on Titan style was a little bit strange, especially me coming, obviously, from Warcraft 3, StarCraft, StarCraft 2, and then now Heroes of the Storm. It's a very distinct style that Blizzard usually has with all of these. But I gotta say, I kinda like it, but it's also fun to now cast a bit more Heroes of the Storm again. And be back to that. Jaina goes down as we're having a big fight happening over the Shaman camp. The Shrine is active, by the way. ETC with a slide. Oriel alive. Leo goes down. Fight continues with Malfurion getting the axe. Sylvanas came in and took him down. And now they're starting to make the next play for Orphea. And the schoolgirl gets spanked. So, easy kill right there. Nicely done. Team Gachi with a pretty big play. Not able to take the camp, especially with the death timers being very low. So this will most likely be claimed by Team Gumis anyways. But they have now gotten a small kill lead, and they are able to also make a play for the Shrine. Won't be able to lock the entire thing in right away, but they have an early level 7 talent, and that means that Team Gumis has to soak some experience themselves first, which they now did. But that also, of course, translates directly into a significant lead for Team Gachi on the objective. 15 stacks to their name. As is, in comes the play for ETC. Gachi low gets the heal from Oriel. And Jaina is providing so much hope over here. The hopium is over 9,000 at this point. More damage coming in now. Maybe against Muradin here too, with a good slide and a little bit of Jaina damage. He could do a lot, but have to pressure them back. And Leo has more or less caught up with the red team. So they are seriously threatening that Arcane Punisher now. 2 kills to 3. Fenix sitting in the middle of the map, by the way. So that is pretty impressive. They pulled ahead by nearly an entire level and did damage there. But now he is coming up. Lopaka is saying hello. So up to now it was a 4 versus 5. But right here we have Gachi in trouble again. Sylvanas had to move down to the middle. ETC alive. The gate already gone. And Sylvanas now attempting to push this out. But it's a little bit of a wild battle when you think about it. So we have, for example, more damage against Zanazovsky now. Nice! The root! That was beautiful. And there's the stun and the follow-up. And what looked like a kill against Orphea now turns on Jaina and she dies. Jaina is gone. This is a nice back and forth that we have here. 36 stacks for the blue team, and Team Gummis has actually pulled it off. They're going to claim this one. They're going to take the first Arcane Punisher. ETC might be in a bit of trouble here. Leo's already ghosting around. They're going to try and slow. Is the jump going to be procced? They get the kill before anything gets procced here. So, well done. Punisher jumps over the wall. That's obviously soon going to be a thing of the past. And in case that you're not really familiar with what I'm referring to, you should probably check my video out on YouTube where I talk about the patch that Blizzard has announced, which is currently on the test server. Lots of changes to the game in general, not just some balance changes. They really try to kind of change the dynamic and the flow of the game a little bit. So if you haven't seen the patch notes yet, I would highly recommend that you scroll down the video list on my YouTube channel and you have a look at the patch. And I go over the biggest points in it. So yeah, the link to the patch itself is also then right there. So make sure to check that out because this will change Heroes of the Storm pretty significantly. Or at least it's a possibility. Big damage up at the top, and Thrall is dead. So, Thrall is gone. That's another kill. We got 5 kills to 3 now. Both teams on level 10, which we already saw in action. And we got the Planet Cracker, baby! They're gonna line this up with the Entomb from Leoric, and then it is Cracker time. So, it seems like Fenix is gonna try and make some plays with that. We have a Ring of Frost for Jaina. It's going to be interesting to see how exactly they're going to run this, but they have now a lot of tools that they could technically use. I mean, a good Sundering Engage, for example, into Ring of Frost and maybe a Mosh Pit would wreak havoc on the blue team. So if they can execute these wombos, that would go a long way for them. After the first big team fight and the action that we saw at the top, we now have 13,000 damage for Jaina. We got 26,000 for Orphea. She's top damage in the game, doubling essentially what we're seeing from the red team. So when it comes down to a battle between the mages, then Orphea is clearly taking it. I mean, not even close. So another invade from the blue team this time. Apparently it's payback time. Yeah, Team Gachi tried it earlier, and now we have Team Gumi sitting there thinking like, wait a second. If you can invade our camp, then we can do the same thing too. Gachi gets clapped by Orphea, slapped into the ground. The Cracker play! And it still does enormous amount of damage, and Oriel goes dead. Fenix goes brrr, Oriel goes ugh. Easy. And that, of course, grants them also the camp itself right now. But that was some global action that we saw from Lopaka here, and I kind of like it. I honestly really enjoy seeing Planet Cracker in action when it's well teed up. We oftentimes talk about the combo with Murky where you go Octograb, but if you land a nice Entomb, you can of course get a lot of value out of it too. And in this case, it was even with Aegis being used by Oriel in order to push things back a little bit. So, next push towards the top. They're starting to aim for the fort here. This would be the first one to fall. There was a lot of progress made by the blue team earlier, but they haven't gotten a fort yet. Fenix, talking about trying to push the lanes a bit further. Busy in the middle of the map. Fenix can always side lane quite nicely. You have mobility, you have wave clear, and you have a shield mechanic that you can use as your sustain. So that's always quite helpful. We see that in particular sometimes on Brax's holdout, for example, where you can hold the top lane. It's always then just a question what happens later on in team fights when you would really like a bigger melee front and a few more frontliners. But the next objective is now up. The leading experience has been extended by the blue team. Team Gumis is now on level 14, has a level 13 talent of course, whereas Team Gachi is trying to catch up on that in time to fight for the shrine. And well, they gotta hurry a little bit. They're not that far behind, but they definitely need another wave or two before they can make any big moves here, and the stack minions, the shrine minions, are already coming together for Team Gumis. So once again in a decent spot. 13 finally ready. We have 20 already accumulated from the blue team. Leo comes in, gets another swing through that. Job well done. And of course by now also ETC becomes the target once more. The ring and the ding 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 as they're taking down Malfurion and Fenix. So yep, well done. Triple kill as Leoric also dies, and the red team with a really cool comeback move here. I like it. So yeah, off they go, lock him down in the choke point, in comes the ring, connects with 3 at that point, and that helps them to get the kills quickly. So I gotta say, Team Gachi, well, they looked like they would struggle, and then they pull that off. So now they close the gap in experience, more or less. Still a small advantage for Team Gumis, but it's not really a whole lot. And I like it. There's a lot of aggression that we are seeing from both of the teams, and there has been a consistent back and forth. Big advantage, of course, for Team Gachi is that they have Sylvanas here. She can really help them to push this a bit further and take down that fort. Punisher jump, not procced yet. Jaina needs to be a little bit cautious, but gets the heals from Oriel too. And there's another jump. The fort is gone. Thrall in the middle, and just like that, Team Gachi takes the lead in this game. Pulls ahead in structures and is also starting to very much so close the gap in experience between the two. So let's see how this is going to work out for them. Top side, for example, we currently have Hammerin still holding the top side fort. 16 still earlier for Team Gumis. Can they do something with it? I mean, there's only one mercenary camp up on the map right now, so they might want to go for that. Yeah, steal it away here. There's nothing else really that they can go for, but they have now a half-level advantage. Maybe push a wall down. If they can gank up on somebody, that would of course also be quite nice. But we're gonna see 16 versus 16 battles in just a few moments. It's not gonna take the red team too long to catch up here. The damage output, we have still a massive lead for Orphea. She's not doubling Jaina's damage anymore, but with 37,000, she's still way ahead of the top damage dealer of the red team. A couple of engage tools already used. I mean, amongst other things, we now had the Summer Ring being used here. Move down towards the middle, but the red team plays a bit more passive. They lock in their level 16 though, and with that, of course, we're now ready for some action, especially when we're talking about Jaina with the Numbing Blast. Muradin's already jumping in, gets the Stormbolt connected. Can they get the Entomb? And indeed they can. Where's the Cracker when you need it? Fenix misses it a little bit, and there's the Mosh Pit and the damage, and all of a sudden Malfurion and Orphea are both dead. Leoki goes down too, so that's 3 eliminated. Fenix is pushing all the way down at the bottom of the map, pretty much solo. But yeah, the Planet Cracker wasn't really lined up the way that they were hoping for, I guess. It's still questionable if they would have been able to get the kill. But yeah, this way, the only hope that they have is for Fenix to do some damage at the bottom of the map. That top side fort will fall. Thrall is defending the middle of the map and can then move down to the bottom. Lopaka is still sitting there, and it's actually kind of wild to me to see that Team Gumis is having this much trouble in this game. It's map number 1 of the best of 3 series, but it is definitely blow for blow between the two teams. ETC nearly completing his level 1 quest that of course is going to give him more sustain also for the team throughout the rest of the match. Well, the map. Leoric still rotating around too. I absolutely love it when we have the janitor riding on the soap, just literally trying to take out the trash over here. So he's gonna clean house, and for the blue team, or besides him, we still have in terms of wave clear probably Fenix running the top number. And yep, indeed, 120,000. He's been doing pretty well. There's the next attempt. Iges use the ring, and these comps are really working out for Team Gachi, aren't they? I mean, that Wombo stuff over here is glorious. The Entomb was great, by the way, but there was no follow-up. And now Leoki is dead, so he's gone. They're still trying to make a play for Malfurion, and thanks to the Northern Exposure, there's the kill. So it's a triple baby. They're taking 3 down very, very easily. And that puts us now in a spot where we have a lead by an entire level for Team Gachi. And they are way ahead of the opponent's team. So Ophia goes down, Leo got killed, and then they make the play for Malfurion, and all of a sudden, we even have a gank in the middle as the blue team is trying to come back by taking down Thrall, and they should be able to. There's the Storm Bolt, and they're not even rotating over. I kind of like what we saw from the red team. They're just like, yeah, dude, you're on your own. We don't care. You get caught like that on lane. This is just what happens. You die. Nobody even tried to rotate towards Thrall. They really couldn't have cared less. So, yeah, hashtag not their war chief. They were definitely not happy with him. They just said, you know what, dude, like, yeah, you just, we don't care about you. Must feel a little bit bad. I mean, if I'm Thrall, I'm questioning my life choices right now. These are not friends. Those are not even acquaintances. They didn't even move a single centimeter into his direction in order to help him out here. So yeah, they just let him die. Just let him go down. Level 20 is soon going to kick in for Team Gachi. They have also 39 stacks now on the objective, so they will get the Punisher. They're just trying to time it with their Storm Talons before they are executing the push there, which they now have. They also set up the defense in the middle, but now they can just easily go and try and push it out. Mirrodin and Sylvanas are the only two that have not died yet in this series. And here comes the upgrade with Cold Snap for Jaina. So she gets Cold Snap in. Are we getting Worldbreaker, Blink for Thrall? What is he going to go for? Has not made a choice yet. Can play this a bit more passive, of course. All alone against Mirrodin at the bottom of the map. So if he needs an escape tool, he can quickly pick that and then jump away. But I think he is going to be needed at the top. So it might be that we're getting Worldbreaker. And indeed, there it is. Worldbreaker is coming in. And Thrall is on his way. But now both teams have level 20. So Team Gumis bought themselves enough time to defend with Storm Talons, which is already a big plus if you ask me. Phoenix hasn't chosen yet. But can they hold on to that fort? And there's the kill. Mirrodin is dead. Jaina came in, they threw everything against the dwarf, and they took him down. Mirrodin is gone, and this is not looking all that good for Team Gumis. They might actually lose the game here. Punisher jumps in for the stun. Sylvanas is immediately behind them. Moves in, out, and the core loses its shield, loses hit points. They're about to lose the game here. ETC goes down, so the defense is at least setting that up, but it's just not going to be enough. With 10 kills to 13, we have Team Gumis losing the first map of this best of 3 series at the Sisters Call Cup. GG. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Second map of the round robin match, the best of 3. 10 heroes were played and cannot be played again. 25 are banned for the entire tournament, and that means that now we have Team Gachi on the left side. The teams indeed swapped sides, so don't be confused by the team on the left being in the lead. This is actually correct. We got Balor on Cassia. Gachi is playing Tyrael and starts things off with the Ardent Restoration. We got Polinka on deck at Kayn, and Gamerboy is playing Li Ming with Hammerin on Urel. Over on the right side of the map, Team Gumis with Garrosh, played by the captain. We got Lopaka on Medivh. Yeah, some sexy Medivh plays potentially incoming. Shikish on Zul, Danazovsky on Tychus, starting us off with Dash, and Matea on Rhaegar. Dash for Tychus. So these auto attack builds that we've seen now multiple times are apparently continuing on this one. Curious how much he's going to invest into that. We've seen a lot of hybrid builds already where people initially started speccing into Grenade, followed through on 7 on 16, but besides that invested into auto attack talents. This is way more of a commitment to an auto attack style than anything else, so he could go all the way with it. We'll see if he goes for some hybrid approach or what we're exactly going to get from Tychus in this game. Of course, also, as usual, Medivh, he needs to complete his stacks in order to get the quest rewards of his baseline. And for Team Gachi, it's going to be important to try and shut him down wherever they can, so that he does not completely spiral out of control, get a massive amount of wave clear of anything on this. Yeah, here comes the attack against Zul, and he gets the saving grace from Medivh with another portal that he can escape through. But, well, A couple of stacks for Maiev already. Camps are being taken. Rhaegar is essentially, or well, Rhaegar is trying slowly to take the camp here. Is nibbling a little bit, but he definitely needs some assistance. They could, of course, try and invade on their opponent's camp, and it seems like they are willing to do that. At least Maiev is checking out what they could possibly do. They decide against it. They still have Zul on the top lane. They already got their own camp. So, yeah, they're totally fine here. Hammerin gets the grenade to the face. Once again, another jump. Starting to focus on Garrosh again. Cassia also dishing out some serious numbers here. And you have that burst damage from Li Ming in particular, who with the reset after a kill can of course also gain huge amounts of momentum. Now down at the bottom of the map, it's all about the pumpkins. But then again, Tyrael gets attacked too. Gachi, yeah, here comes level 4. And Tychus, come on. Are we getting stacks or what? Oh no. I mean, I guess we get stacks, but it's Master Assassin. So it's not in the rhythm. He goes for Master Assassin after dash. Apparently they expect a bit of a kill-heavy game here. The passive is already quite nice, of course, for him in that regard. But if you can also stack the entire thing, that would be great. Maiev goes down, and that is stacks lost. Now, it's not like he was massively ahead in stacking, but that's still a bit of a setback. We're 5 levels in, and Maiev gets killed. So, Maiev down. And a little bit of a concern, maybe. Definitely slows him down, of course. And there is a decent chance that the blue team is going to aggressively try to shut him down and throughout the game even more. We have now the triple altar phase coming up in a few seconds, which means both of the teams are getting ready for the first shots against the opponent's core. After we started things off with the Sapphire, we now also have Ruby for Deckard Cain. Top left, top right, typical exchange. We got Yrel against Zul. And then the battle for the middle. Balor channeling and gets interrupted. Okay. For a second it thought like they would let it go, but no. So instead we now have Yrel jumping in. The Space Goat, hoppity hop, trying for Maiev. Too many heroes to start with an M in the game. It's actually a good question. Which ladder has the most heroes to it? Maiev, Myrddin, Malthael. I think there are a lot. M has a lot. Yeah. So, with that, we're now looking again at the channel, this time from Deckard Cain. And he gets it. So, they get 2 out of the 3 altars. Team Gumis has to slowly move back here. We only had that one single kill, and that's that. But the early game start for Team Gachi is pretty nice. Again, they are already in the lead in the series. If they win on House of Doom, then they move on to the next match. The round robin phase has been going alright for them so far, but obviously it's all about the seeding right now. You want to end up in the top spots so that you have a much easier time when we're entering the playoffs, and this is what the teams essentially are fighting for right now. Level 7, that's where the adjustments kick in even further for Tychus, as already expected. We got the Combat Tactician right now. Okay, so quite a lot of reduction on it, but he's not stacking the minigun. Oh, Cassia! Bit of a little bit more than she can chew. So Cassia goes down. Maiev with a kill. He is now back to 21 stacks. So, doing okay. We're 5 minutes in and he's halfway done. I've seen worse. But portals everywhere. Maiev can be so oppressive. But the attacks centering around the pumpkins, slowly starting to kick in. Now they're starting to make a play for Garrosh again, and Garrosh is gone! But so is Li Ming, so it's a kill for a kill, but the blue team is still fighting for their access to the pumpkin camp, and they are able to grab it. The problem for the red team is that they haven't taken their own camp, so it's still active on the right side. They could rotate over and try and claim it, but they are losing a little bit of time on this now. 5 minutes in, we have 4 heroes killed. The next altar is a single altar at the bottom of the map. Balor is already in position. 23 stacks again for Maiev, and yeah, I don't know, if they split heroes onto the side lanes a bit, they could technically try and aim for level 10 during all of this. Maybe they can send somebody towards the middle and at least take the wave out there. That would get them a bit closer. But it is still even talents, and Team Gachi is trying to sneak it. Team Gumis knows that they can't stay here forever. At some point heroics are going to kick in, and they are not that far behind, but still, just 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds of an ult advantage is more than any team would need to capitalize on that. So here comes the attack once again. They're trying to go for the front. Good save from Garrosh. Lopaka also moving back out. Medivh died already once. He's back to 27 stacks, but he needs to be careful here. If they're able to get a hold of him, that's gonna spell out disaster. Valla with the channel. That's 4 shots fired, and that puts Team Gachi into an even bigger lead. 36 points on the core against 28 is what we're currently talking about. So, yeah, shot after shot is being fired here. We have also from Medivh now 32 stacks. The funny thing, by the way, when we're talking about stacks is you talk about Medivh and he's doing really okay, especially considering that he already died once earlier. But then you look over to Tyrael, who's currently at the 6-7 minute mark, sitting at 5 globes on his level 1. That is less than a globe per minute, just saying. So, not really the best stat for Tyrael right here. Sanctification, talking about Tyrael, the ult of choice. Leyline with a connect against Deckard Cain. Yeah, we have Odin, we have Poison Nova. And Rhaegar, of course, with the Ancestor. 5 versus 5 now. Everybody rotated back in. But they're not fighting for it. Instead, the portal rotation. Portal rotation are just nasty. You think you're minding your own business on a lane. You think, okay, my opponent still needs some time to rotate. And all of a sudden, that portal just comes out of nowhere and you get murdered. Definitely has never happened to me. So, yeah. Easy to underestimate the rotation time when Medivh is on the other side. You just forget about him for a second and you're basically dead already. So, with that, next attack is coming. We have already Li Ming looking to burn some targets down and get those resets. Double altar is coming up. Deckard Cain with the ult. Get wrecked. And get wrecked they do. Tychus is down. Medivh, no! Medivh! He was nearly done with the quest. He lost all of his stacks again. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me, right? Guys, check this out. 35 stacks for Medivh. No way. He was at 37 when he died. Oh my god, that's a disaster. Those kills were super important. Here come the channel. And now they take out Zul too. Oh my god, that is horrible for Team Gomez. That's an utter disaster here. That's honestly nuts. I mean, Deckard Cain is now getting attacked. And, well, that is actually, that should be a kill. Yeah, okay, so they get a counter kill. Good for them. Leyline is out, but still, Medivh dying is disastrous. Losing this many stacks at that point in time is such a problem. And 9 minutes in now, and Medivh is just completely subpar from where he could be. In addition to that is obviously the kills in general that haven't really gone all too well for Team Gachi. Just ignoring for a moment the kill against Deckard Cain, but tough times. Now, they're trying to portal up again for the next aggression. 36 points on the core against 20, by the way. Big damage from Cassia. Massive damage from Cassia. Oh my god! She's taking all of them down, essentially, with the exception of Garrosh. But now they're going for Tychus, and Tychus is dead too. Medivh, by the way, he died again. So they're really making this nearly impossible for him to get his stacks. He was sitting at 5 stacks at the time, so it's not like he lost a ton. But just the fact that Medivh keeps dying is wild. Funnily enough, he's back on 2, even though he's dead, because the Rift connected with the heroes after he technically died. So he stacked after he died. What a chat. So he's playing with time now as well. All of those stasis things, and now he is apparently starting to become a bit of a time traveler. Manipulating it at will. That's the stuff on 13. They finally have the level 13 talent, but the blue team is already ahead by a level. Double altar on the map. And yeah, the ley line is completely missing. Medivh, if anything, he doesn't need stacks, he needs glasses. That went nowhere. So, well, this is a fight they really need to try and win, because if they lose here too, that would be a nightmare. And it seems like they're losing Tychus. It seems like they might also be losing some of their frontliners, but nope, with the portal they're able to escape. At least Zul channeled one, and that's 3 shots fired. The team is just moving past the bell tower, 5 more shots fired against the red team. That puts them down to 15 points now. So as the bell tower is slowly being recaptured by Team Gumis, we have a significant lead, for now at least, for Team Gachi. This is a big comeback map, but that is an 18-point difference between the two teams. 3 stacks for Tigers. He only got 3 kills ever since he picked that. And then on the other side, obviously, 16 will kick in just mere seconds. There's still a boss up on the map that he could technically try and take too. We got Li Ming as the top damage in the game with 48,000 damage. 30,000 for Tigers. Well, and then comes the portal again. Starting to work towards the top. And at the bottom of the map, I mean, it's Li Ming and Deckard Kane, so nobody is disrupting them at all. They are working to retake that bottom bell tower. There's not a lot of vision on where the red team is. I mean, we have obviously full vision of the map, but the blue team doesn't, duh. So they just retreated to be safe. They're like, yeah, well, we don't know exactly where they are, so let's better play this safe than sorry. Color Pumpkins at the top also taken out. Still a level gap. Trying to close the experience gap here as well. Mirror Ball on 16 for Li Ming. And we get for Cassia the Martial Law. Tigers isn't really working out that well for Team Gumis currently. He's still the top damage dealer for them, but he just pales in comparison to both Cassia with 41,000 and Li Ming with 48k. Now they shut down Urel in the middle of the map though. And that's a nice kill. This is exactly what the red team needs in order to gain momentum and turn this game on its head. The 16 talents are now also available. That gives us the sizzling attacks right there. Maiev on 12 stacks on the baseline. Stay a while. And nobody gets wrecked this time. Red team gets 1 altar channel through. Good for them. Starting to close the gap. But blue team is having a huge impact on that last fight, and now somebody could just walk back and try and channel. But we have another altar channel by Zul, so that's 2 out of the 3 going to Team Gumis. Good for them. Not going to change what happens at the bottom of the map though, or is it? Because now Zul is back. Sanctification! The Ancestral comes through in time. And Team Gachi is in a bit of an awkward spot. They might actually lose all 3 of the altars. This could be the beginning of a massive comeback, and I actually think it might just be. Rhaegar goes for the channel, gets this one as well, and all of a sudden we're talking 15 points to 21. That is manageable. That is something that you can absolutely bridge. So, yes, I am very, very curious how this one continues. The red team was trying to do whatever they can in order to make their moves there. And now we just have to see if that comeback continues or if the blue team can shut it down again and once more take the lead. So in comes the attack, and Balor on Cassia goes down. Lots of momentum as Li Ming dies too. Huge amount of momentum. Very well done. Those are some sick plays that we're now all of a sudden getting from Team Gumis. They were basically out and about, but now we are having more and more kills coming in and them closing the gap. Now there's no objective up. They haven't taken the bell tower yet. And Team Gachi just needs to relax. Einmal locker durch die Hose atmen, bitte. They need to chill. They need to make sure that they're just resetting, get the 5-man back into the action, just take the losses for now on the lanes, and then you can make your play later on. So we'll see if they can pull that off properly. For now, we still have the next attack coming as Hammerine is starting to jump in. Yeah, pumpkins galore as they drop the wall. But there's the single altar, and Li Ming is now back. So Li Ming is back to business. It's a single altar. We have a fully normal bell tower situation between the two teams. Maiev is on 18 stacks. Lopaka would probably still love to at least complete the talent. Zul and Cassia rotating in. Urel in the back. Gets the connect. They try to go for Garrosh. Maiev is also saying hi. There's the ley line. Hits it. Garrosh tries to use it, and the Sanctification of Tyrael is shutting any ult attempts from him out. So now we're having the next playmate as full control over the altar is taken by Team Gachi, and they're attempting to sneak that channel in. Red team interrupts where they can. Big red button is certainly helping with that. So Odin commandeered the entire time. Another nice play from Li Ming, but it's a bit too short to connect with Medivh, or that would have been a kill. But the fight has certainly not stopped here. In comes the ult from Zul, goes for the Poison Nova. Portals, plays made again by Medivh as they are trying to push the blue back, and they're starting to fall low in HP. They get caught again by the ley line. Tyrael cutting the opponent off the holy ground, but he's also running out of mana. There's the taunt from Garrosh, and Tyrael dies, and so does Cassia. They get a counter kill on Tychus at least, but we are finally in a spot where Team Gumis is trying to turn the game around, and they look like they will succeed. It is 10 kills, 2-9. They are about to take the lead in experience. They have essentially closed the gap in kills nearly completely, and with shot after shot being fired, we're now looking at more or less identical numbers on the core, 17 to 15. Given how this map ended, this is amazing for Team Gumis. So once again, if the red team is able to win this here, then they would be the ones to easily force game number 3 and secure themselves another chance to win the series. We're still in the round robin phase of the tournament. For Team Gachi, they were hoping, of course, to secure a 2-0 so that they get more points and climb in the standings a little bit. Level 20 talents should be available for Team Gachi in a moment, and there they are. The opponent already has their 20s. Run and gun, the bob and weave. Also, for Deckard Kane, after a couple of nice ults, respect the elderly. Oh, where's my pudding? And what about Li Ming? No choice so far. There it is. Tal Rashas. So, we're at the end of the talent tree. Now it's 20 versus 20, 17.5 minutes into the game, and things are starting to fire up a little bit here. It's a 5 versus 3 bell tower situation with Team Gumis taking the bottom bell tower on the map. So they did well here. Zul is pressuring the top even further after now taking another pumpkin camp and trying to escort that in. Rotates towards the middle where he gets even more minions for the team and might pressure the mid lane bell tower as well. Down here, a couple of ults are getting exchanged, particularly, of course, we're having some moves made by Cassia, but the poking and prodding against the bell tower still continues. 8 stacks on Tychus and his Master Assassin. I mean, you never take this to complete the stacks, you take it for the passive for Odin, but still, if you can complete it, I mean, nobody's gonna say no to that. So, attack after attack now. Shots are fired, and that is 5 shots, and all of a sudden, it is Team Gachi that falls behind. Team Gumis, 15 points on the core, to 11. I remind you real quickly, it was 33 points or something of the sorts against 15. So ever since, the red team hasn't lost a single point and has eliminated 22 from the opponent's team. So amazing job here by Team Gumis. 75,000 damage from Tychus. Not quite in the top numbers yet. He's still 3rd place behind Cassia and Li Ming, who essentially swapped places here. Bottom bell tower will slowly be taken back, so they are poking against it. And they nearly have it. If they at any point commit, they will get it for sure. The matter then would of course always be to ask, hey, at what cost? They're defending as best as they can. They want to hold that bell tower for as long as possible. Boss is still up on the map. Has not been taken once. Several teams have had opportunities. Nobody went for it. So now it's about the bottom of the map. Now it's about trying to retake control. Gamer boy, they want him. They can't get him. And there's the shots fired, and they retake the bell tower. Ancestral, and here comes Team Gachi with a sanctification. Once more, the ult from Cassia. Big damage here. Huge damage. They finally stop it, but the attack on Garrosh might start to become a problem. They're also body blocking him, and now they are focusing their attention back onto Danazovsky with Tychus. Nobody dying in that fight. Tyrael going deep, but nobody goes down. Single altar coming up. This could be single digits on the blue team score if they claim this one. Yeah, Lopaka can still make a few little plays here. Gosh, look at that! Quest for Medivh completed. Yeah, he was persistent about it and he finally made it happen. So good for Lopaka. 20 minutes in, it took a minute, but well, he has it. Quest is completed and now it's party time for Medivh. Now he can finally start to work with that cooldown reduction and get even better numbers out. Leeming! Has to teleport away here quickly because she would have been the next target for Garrosh. So they're still pressuring that. The shots were fired. And finally we have Team Gachi showing a sign of life. Making a play. Because now it's 11 points on each core. So yes, it is a wild second game. Who's taking it? Are we going game 3? Or is Team Gachi claiming a 2-0 victory? That's the big one. Deckard Kane actually interrupted. Tiger's dead. And he's not going to be back anytime soon. But Zul also dies. And oh, the blue team. Yeah. Never give up, never surrender. Medivh is dead. Yes, Deckard Kane, Tigers. Oh my god. The kills, the resets, and Gamer Boy on Leeming with all the damage that he's able to get out. But it's a 3 versus 2 as the dust settles slowly. But look at this fight. Look at all of the kills that are coming in here. I mean, they're jumping in with the ult, then Zul and Medivh die first. Shortly after, we just have one pop after another with Deckard Kane and Tigers both getting wrecked. It's 13 kills to 11 now, all in all. And yeah, this, I mean, a crazy fight. No objective up. Double altar phase will be the next at the top. And yeah, we'll see who is taking the lead here. I mean, there's a pretty decent chance that everybody is just getting one single altar channel, and then we are seeing both of them on 7 points on the core, both in the single digits. But this is going down to the wire. I mean, they're fighting for every single inch of that map. Nice flip by Garrosh, gets a taunt out. What about Urel? Yeah, pops the ult. Better safe than sorry. Tries to get out and is able to escape. So nicely done. Good job here. Azul is attempting to be cheeky. Look at that. Yeah. Zul is looking at the altar and thinks, hey, you know what? How about I just steal it away? That ult... Okay, he connected with a few. Actually thought it would be worse. But it's just healing that needs to be thrown out. It won't have a direct impact on anything. Zul is still channeling. And the first 4 shots are fired. So yes, it's 7 points on each side on the core. That's what we're talking about here. It's really going down to the wire. And that boss is still up. If a team fight is won, you can either go for momentum or for the boss. And the bottom bell tower is suffering. This one is taking more and more damage, so this could very well be converted over to the blue team side. Now, they are pressuring in the middle as well. They're really looking for things that they can kill now. 27 stacks for Tyrael. Haven't really mentioned him too much after we talked about his initial issues. But now we have, for example, 135,000 damage for Cassia in the 6-digit club. We also welcome Tychus with 115,000. Talking Tychus, he needs to dish out the damage here. And the ley line is barely saving the red team from losing multiple heroes there. If that ley line wasn't so perfectly executed, I think this would have been an absolute rude awakening for Team Gummis. They are still struggling to maintain control of the bell tower at the bottom of the map, and Murden or Urel now moving in. That should essentially mean that this thing is toast, and it indeed is. Sanctification, maybe a bit over-eager, but they dropped it. And now making a play for Zul, and he's dead, and it's a triple kill. Nice! Cassia with a big boy damage, taking top damage in the entire game. 150,000. What? 130,000 siege damage and 150,000 hero damage. 24 minutes into this game. Insane numbers from Cassia. Absolutely insane. Danazovsky is dead as well. It's a double altar, guys. This is it. This is lights out. Nothing to do here. Rhaegar is thinking about soloing the boss now. I got this, boys. Trust. Hashtag trust. I'll show them. But it's obviously not happening. This is it. Team Gachi with a 2-0 victory in this best of 3 series here in the round robin of the tournament. Nicely done. A little bit unfortunate for Team Gummis. They had a great showing in game number 2. I honestly think this series would have deserved a 3rd map, but we unfortunately did not get that. Now, if you watched until here and you enjoyed the show, make sure that you like this if you watch on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. It's appreciated, and see you guys in the next one.